Welcome to my video. I am going to show you how to bring files into Procreate, specifically coloring files, and even more specifically, files that I have created and sell on my Etsy shop. You're going to open up Procreate and you're going to come up to this main dashboard area. First thing we want to do is create the canvas. So I'm going to do it for a 300 dpi image, and you'll go to the top right hand corner and click the plus sign. And I already have one saved, but I'll show you how to do it again. Underneath the plus sign, there's like another little button that has a plus sign in it. You'll want to click that. And then this is where you can add in the dimensions. 5400 as the width. If it's a portrait image, if it's a landscape, then you would just swap these numbers. You would reverse these numbers. And then the height is 7200. And make sure the DPI says the 300, which it does. So then you'll say create. This will create your blank canvas. Now you want to get your files into this canvas. But what I think we need to do first is create the palette. So what I'm going to do is show you how to bring in the palette file and manually create the palette in order based on the numbers. That way you'll always have this saved palette. So you'll go up to the left menu where the wrench is, and you'll click on that. And then if you have it saved as a photo, you can click insert a photo, but I have it as a file. So I'm going to select insert a file. I am going to select my palette and I'm going to fit it to the page just to make it a little easier to work with. So to create the palette, in the right hand corner, you're going to click that little color and you're going to click the plus sign. So now we're going to create a new palette, and you can click on the untitled and title it whatever you want. For this, I'll just do, a test, and then click done. So then what you want to do is I'm working on an iPad, so I can take my finger and long press anywhere on the screen, and it brings up this little circle and it grabs the color it's like a little color picker, and it grabs that color. So once I click that, I'll go back in, and then I just pick the first spot under that little test area. So you'll do this with each color, and I want to click the second one, third, so now we have all of our colors, and we do not need this image anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and cut that image out. So now we want to insert files onto the page. Now I'm going to show you the way that I prefer to color. Feel free to use these files however, whatever your preference is. So Procreate allows you to have layers. And so I'm going to put the numbers, let me go into 300 dpi. So I'm going to put the numbers on the bottom layer. So I'm going to select the numbers only, and then I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to select another file, and I'm going to select, I prefer the dark lines, but some people like to color in light lines, so I'm going to pick the dark lines. So now up in the top right hand corner next to that little color palette are two like little squares, and those are your layers. So as you can see, my bottom layer is the numbers, and so I kind of like to go and rename. So you would just click on that layer, another little menu pops up, and you click rename, and I'm going to label this numbers. And then the next image up, I'm going to click on it and rename it to lines. And again, you can name these whatever you like. On the lines layer, because we want the numbers to see through, we need to change that property of that layer. So next to that little check mark is a little N, and we're going to click on that, and it's saying that it's at normal mode. So we want to scroll up to multiply, and now you can see the numbers are showing through. Now we want a paint layer. So the way I like to do this, I like to have the numbers on the bottom, the lines on top, and then I want to add a layer. So see the plus sign next to the layers. You'll click that, and it creates a new layer. Now I'm going to rename this to paint. So this is the layer I want to paint on. So now I want the paint layer to be in the middle of the numbers and the lines. So I'm going to hold and drag it right between. I always want to be on that paint layer when I'm painting. And the reason why is that way I don't paint over the lines. I actually paint under the lines, but over the numbers. So I will show you what I am talking about here. So I'm just going to come up and I'm just going to grab a color and I'm going to zoom in. Over on the left, you have this toolbar and it will change the size of your brush. Now, I will tell you, go and play with the brushes. Everyone has a favorite. My favorite is under drawing and it's the Eagle Hawk, but really all of them are great. It just depends on what kind of texture you want. Now, when you paint or when you color, you can see it going over the number. Now, it's not going to hide the number. And honestly, that's okay. I don't want it to hide the number, but you can see it goes under the lines. So that's why I like to paint in between the two layers. Then when I'm done, I can go up to my layers menu and I can deselect the numbers and just have the lines. Or if I want to get rid of the lines, I can deselect the lines and get rid of all the lines and the numbers. And then that way I just have the painted piece at the end. So that's kind of how I like to layer the files that I sell on my Etsy shop. See, if I were to go to the lines layer and go back to the paint, let me pick a different color just so you can see it. Here, I'll pick a light green. So see, now I'm kind of going over the black lines and I don't like doing that. I like going underneath them. That's kind of the reason why I like to layer the files the way I do. I hope this has been helpful. If not, please comment on the video and I will do my best to help you get your files into Procreate.